Hello and welcome to marketing91.com. Let's start with understanding the definition and features of communication. Communication is the transfer of information from one person to another person. It is a way of reaching to others by transmitting ideas, facts, thoughts, feelings, and values. Features of communication are: it involves two or more people, that is, one or more receivers are needed for the communication process. And understanding. The main aim of communication is to ensure that the receiver understands the intended meaning of a message. Functions of communication are: control. Communication controls people's behavior in an organization through formal and informal communication. Motivation. When managers provide feedback, set specific goals, or reward employees for their achievements, they motivate people through communication. Emotional expression. Employees convey their emotions and become aware of others' emotions through communication. And information. That is, communication provides managers with data for identifying potential problems, evaluating alternatives, and making decisions. Now let's understand the 8 elements in the communication process. The first element is the sender, who has an idea that he wishes to convey to another person. The next step is encoding, which is the process of converting a thought into a message by using symbols. Message is the physical product resulting from the encoding process. The transmission channel is the medium selected by the sender for transmitting the message. Formal channels are established by the organization, while informal channels are spontaneous in nature and social and personal messages are transmitted through these channels. The receiver is the target of the message. Decoding is the process of deriving meaning from a message by translating the symbols in a form that can be understood by the receiver. Noise is the barrier affecting the communication process. The last element is feedback, which is the receiver's response to the message. It conveys whether the sender's intended message has been understood by the receiver. Moving on. Organizational communication is the information flow within an organization. There are 5 types of organizational communication that are: downward, upward, lateral, electronic, and informal communication. Let's understand each of these types in detail in the following slides. The first type is downward communication. In downward communication, information flow is from people with higher authority levels to people with lower authority levels. Managers use downward communication to assign goals, provide job instructions, provide information about organizational policies and procedures, identify problems in an employee's work that needs attention, and provide feedback about performance. Downward communication can be oral, face-to-face, or written through letters or emails. Measures to improve downward communication are: providing reasons to subordinates and explaining why a decision is made, and encouraging feedback from subordinates. In upward communication, information flow is from people with lower authority levels to people with higher authority levels. It provides feedback to authorities and informs them about progress towards goals and current organizational problems. Difficulties in upward communication is that managers are often overburdened and do not have time to communicate with subordinates. Even if they find time, they may be distracted and inattentive. Measures to improve upward communication are: reduce distractions in communication, focus on the main issue at hand, provide evidence and suggest a course of action, and use a well-defined agenda of issues to be discussed. The next type is lateral or horizontal communication. In this type, exchange of information is between managers at the same level in an organization, employees at equivalent or similar levels, members of the same group, members of different work groups but at the same level. Advantage of lateral communication is that it saves time and facilitates faster communication. However, its drawback is that if employees bypass their immediate superior and talk directly to higher authorities, those who are bypassed may get upset. The fourth type of communication is electronic communication. Examples include email, text messaging, video conferencing, internet blogs, and networking software. Email is a system by which people use a personal computer to send and receive computer-generated text and documents. It allows employees to send a message instantly to a large number of people. Advantages are speed and convenience, while the drawbacks are loss of face-to-face contact, absence of emotional cues, and tendency to use acronyms and emoticons owing to which messages can be misunderstood. Another type of electronic communication is instant messaging and text messaging. In instant messaging, messages are sent through a desktop or laptop, while in text messaging, messages are sent through mobile phones. Messages are sent in real time. Advantages are extremely fast, inexpensive, and flexible. However, drawbacks include not effective for sending long messages, distracting, intrusive, and potentially unsecure. The last type is informal communication. It refers to information shared without any formally imposed obligations or restrictions. Informal communication occurs through grapevines and rumors. Grapevine is a channel through which unofficial, informal information travels. Communication is based mainly on friendship or acquaintance. Managers may use the grapevine to leak information to make more accurate information available and reduce anxiety, conflicts, and misunderstandings. On the other hand, a rumor is merely false information transmitted over the grapevine without supporting evidence or facts. Rumors flourish in ambiguous and interesting situations. Barriers to communication interfere with the communication process and prevent effective communication. The first barrier is filtering, that is, the sender only provides information that will interest the receiver and make him see the sender favorably. That reduces effectiveness of upward communication and is more likely if an organization has many vertical levels. The second barrier is selective perception, which is the tendency of a receiver to process information based on his interests, background, experience, and attitude. A person tends to focus only on certain aspects of the message. Information overload is when an individual receives more information than he or she can process. He is overburdened with data beyond his processing capacity. The fourth is language barriers. Language difficulties occur when communicators do not have a common language. A message contains words with multiple meanings. A sender or receiver has poor command over the language used for communication, and communicating parties belong to different cultures, age groups, etc. Next is physical barriers. These are interferences occurring in the external environment, such as loud noise, physical distance between communicators, etc. They can be overcome by ecological control. The last barrier is personal barrier. Examples include human emotions, values, poor listening skills, difference in education, socioeconomic status, etc. They may also be in the form of psychological distance. The receiver's mental and emotional state on receiving the information influences its interpretation. Thank you.